Hey everyone, welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. Now listen, I'm not going to take any credit for doing this video, or shall I say for suggesting this video, because if you saw if you are a regular and you've seen my video a couple of videos back where I did the opening, the unboxing and the reviewing of the Bachmann NRM twin Deltic set, well it was a Deltic and Coley in the original box, you would have heard me say that I was going to sell my Lima Deltic, which is this one, on, because I've now got the beautiful back one there. But that was the original plan. Now, one of the comments on that video was from a fellow YouTuber who said to me, well, before you sell your Lima one, could you possibly do a comparison, a direct comparison of the two, and see what the differences really are between them? And I replied saying, yes, that's a good idea, I'll do that, and I'll do it on the front of a video when I intend to run the new Deltic and the Coley, which came in the box with it. But I've since thought it might be a better idea to do it as a separate video, hence why I'm doing it herewith. So there they are together in the boxes, so time to remove them. So there they are then, removed from the boxes, and as this suggestion first came in, I thought it was a good idea to do this, and it's something I've never even thought of doing myself, to be honest with you, to do a direct comparison between two completely different manufactured locomotives. So let's see how it all goes. I think the first thing we need to do is this. Scales. Let's weigh them first. Let's just see out of curiosity. Starting with the Lima. Put it carefully on there, look. Right. What we got? 305 grams. Is that 305? I'm sure it is. There you go. Alright, that's the Lima one. So let's have a look at the beautiful Bachmann NRM one on the same scales. Zeroed again, of course, so put that on there carefully. You have a look. And we've now got 630. That's like twice the weight. So, hell. Straight away we've got a massive difference, so okay, let's have a look at them side by side. Alright, here we go, let's do this. Let's have a proper look and see what the differences really are. Okay, the first thing is worth pointing out is that, of course, the Lima one, which is noticeably lighter as we've just seen, I've noticed that hit me straight away is the size of the window here and the door. On the Lima one there, I'm using my scribe ruler to point things out to you, look. Yeah, the window there is certainly smaller than the one on the Bachmann here, as you can see there. Of course, I have no idea which one is the most accurate, but I suppose it would be fair to say that my gut feeling would be for the Bachmann one, the NRM one here. Right, but let's have a look and see what we come up with. Now, the handles here on the Lima one on the door, yeah, they look pretty cool, they look okay. The handles here on the Bachmann one are sort of more metally looking, if that's the right expression. But yeah, it's an obvious difference straight away. Right, moving on, the cab windows here, well, on the Bachmann they tend to be a little bit more colourful, because you kind of see a bit of red on the middle window there. Looking at the Bachmann here, we've got the information plaque just there, which of course we haven't got here on the Lima one, so that is certainly an obvious difference. Here on the Bachmann we've got the drop down metal step, obviously leading down the ladders here, and that's got all the little rivets in it, which I'm sure you can see, and of course we haven't got that at all here on the Lima, and we haven't even got the steps, so that is a very obvious difference. Looking at the front grille here on the Lima, yeah, it's okay, it's there. The Bachmann one is a darker colour, looks more realistic. Again, you know, 50 quid for this or thereabouts, 150 for this. I think these are the kind of differences you would really expect to see. Going back to the glazing, here on the Lima, you'll notice that this middle window here is, well, it's the same as the other two really, but on the Bachmann we've got the like a chrome surround on that window, so again that is obviously different. And sticking with the windows, on here on the Lima we've got the 3 side windows, or 6 if you count these 3 as well. And again here on the Bachmann we have got the same 6 windows, but they do have like a chrome surround and like a centre bar down the middle, which I would assume would be a form of sliding the windows open, but hopefully you can see all that on the camera anyway. Moving on now to the tanks underneath, well of course that's the Lima one, and we've got the I assume that might be the filler just there. On the Bachmann, yeah, more detail, certainly more detail, some sort of a gauge there as well, which doesn't appear here on the Lima. And of course we've got the steps down just there, along with the little badges, or sorry, badges like notices I should say, and which are not here. There are 4 little holes kind of thing where they would possibly be, but typical of Bachmann, the detail is actually filled in there. In doing this direct comparison video, something that really hit me right away was the fact that on the Lima one here, the word Deltic and on all the lining is actually white. It is the same on the front, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But I've noticed on the Bachmann NRM one, it is actually yellow. Now again, I don't really know which is absolutely correct, but again I would have to probably go with the Bachmann because they are pretty thorough whenever they do a model. They are pretty good at getting things accurate, so I will go for this one, that the light yellow is probably correct. Okay, moving on to the left hand side of the locomotives, which will probably be your right because I'm upside down here. You can see here on the Lima that there is a circle here, which is obviously for something, and that something appears to be yet another badge or information of some kind, which again Bachmann have actually done, so that is good, that is fair enough. And we've already covered the windows in the door and the type of handles and the composite of them as well, so, and we've also covered the grille, so there's no point in going over that again. Let's now look at the bogies. Now I do know that there is a massive difference between the bogies on them. If you look at the assembly here on the Lima one, yes, it is pretty good. I mean, it's really good, really, for like 40-50 quid, whatever this costs. The detail on the Bachmann is certainly better, there's no doubt about that. But if you look at it actually, they're actually completely different. And again, I have read this somewhere about this, about the accuracy of recreating or reproducing these bogie assemblies. You can see here on the Lima that we've got this section of girder in, which I suppose is the right term to use, which basically sort of kind of fills in the bogie sides. But here we don't have it at all, look, on the Bachmann one. So once again, my thoughts would be that the Bachmann is more likely the correct one, but I would like your opinion on that because I have read something about this somewhere, about the inaccuracy of the bogies, and both on the Lima and the Bachmann one, and something to do about the amount of space there is on the centre wheel here. Now, one of the blatantly obvious things that's going to be different is the bumpers, of course. You know, these are obviously plastic and part of the moulding on the Lima, and of course on the Bachmann NRM they are sprung buffers, as you can see there. That is going to be an obvious thing anyway. Now, before we move them so we can see the tops, the best thing to do is just tell you a little bit about the grills that we can see here on the sides, and I don't think it's necessary for me to turn them over and do the other side because they're going to be the same, so we'll just finish off the sides here. The grills here on the Lima, yeah, they're fine, they look okay, you know, they're not bad or anything, they're okay, but they're definitely more pronounced here on the Bachmann one, and you can clearly see that. Plus you can see this little grill here, which doesn't appear on the Lima one just there. And this grill here on the Lima is now dark there on the Bachmann. So once again, I think I would run with the Bachmann as being a little bit more accurate. But again, we are talking about price differences, so, you know, come on, you get what you pay for. Moving on now to a view from the top. Now, they are very, very different here. It's blatantly obvious that there are a lot of differences, so let's point them out. First of all, the horns here on the Lima, yes, they're grey, whereas the roof is a kind of, well, no, it's kind of an off-white. And the horns here on the Bachmann, not only are they the off-white colour of the roof rather than grey, but they're also smaller than these here on the Lima. So again, I would assumably think that they are probably more accurate to scale here on the Bachmann. The grills on the top of the Lima, they're okay. They've got the bars here through the middle, as you can see, which are reasonably good. But here on the Bachmann, the whole grill is see-through, and there are fans shown through the grill. You can actually see the fans in there. Not sure if you'll see them on the camera, but take my word for it, they are actually there. A definite improvement in that part of it. That goes without saying. I will point out here though that these are not working fans. You can see them quite clearly, but they're not working ones, they're just stationary. But again, like I say, an improvement from the Lima one at a certainly less price. And moving to the middle of the roof, you can see here we've got the vents and whatever they're for. I'm not completely up to all these particular holes and vents still on the roof, but as you can see here on the Lima, we've just got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of circles recessed, sunk in, and here we've got the same 6, but this time the 3 in the middle have got like grey vents on them. I think that's what they are. And then we've got blackened areas here on those, and on that one there, that one at the front or back, whichever way you're looking at the loco, which is the opposite way around here, that's certainly got a chrome kind of grille cover around it, with the little tiny holes, rivet holes. You can actually see the rivets in there. They are extremely small, but that is a nice little touch from my point of view. Okay, and finally, to sum it all up, let's look at the fronts. Again, there's no point in doing both ends, one is fine. So yeah, look, pointed out to you earlier, the whiskers here are white. On the Bachmann they are light yellow. Of course the Lima doesn't have any form of lighting whatsoever. It's obviously a basic model. The buffers we've already discussed, these are actually sprung ones, as you can certainly see there. On the Lima you can see that the half moon section there is a solid part casting of the body, but here on the Bachmann it is actually open. I'm actually not sure what that bit's for, so if any of you out there have the knowledge of this, you can probably enlighten me on that bit. The coupling, well, the couplings aren't no big deal really, are they? But this has got the original sort of Triang type Mark 3 decoupling, the large one, and of course the Bachmann has got an NAM pocket, so we can literally put on there whatever we want. Now, with the Deltic prototype, I always assumed that this here at the front was a headlight. I'm not sure. I think it probably still is a headlight. And if it is, then I am surprised that Bachmann here, although it has a clear glass in it, as you can see there, rather than just a bit of grey paint as part of the casting of the plastic moulding, sorry, then this doesn't light up on the Bachmann, but the two small lights there and there do. They are certainly working and directional, and of course there is no lights here on the Lima one. So yeah, that's the front there, and probably coming to a conclusion, because I can't think of much else to say, the Lima doesn't show any wipers here or here, and of course the Bachmann does there. Oops, I'll get the screwdriver right for you. I'm looking at the camera backwards here. There's the wipers here and here on the Bachmann, and like I say, none there on the Lima. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So you know, direct comparison between the two. I'll just put them down, if you just bear with me a minute. Well, I just put them down and zoom back a tad on the camera, because I've zoomed in to show you the front. So whoops, one way John, wrong way John. So we go back down, and yeah, I think that covers most of it. I can't think of much else to say really. One thing I will say is that now I've done this video and shown this direct comparison between the two, it is my intention to put her on eBay and sell her on, because I really don't need to. And of course the Bachmann is obviously the superior one between the two. Oh yes, there is something worth pointing out to you, I nearly forgot. Here on the Lima one, the drive is on that axle and that axle. The middle axle is freewheeling, but of course she does have the rubber tyres here for traction, and she pulls pretty well. The rear bogie is completely trailing. They're all freewheeling, obviously. So yeah, so your pulling power on the Lima is obviously these two axles with the traction tyres, but with the Bachmann NRM one here, she has the Lima is a pancake motor or a ring-filled motor kind of thing, but here on the NRM Bachmann, it's got a central mounted horizontal motor, twin flywheels, full shafts all the way each way, left and right, and the drive is on all 6 axles, which you would expect from Bachmann. She's got no traction tyres, but with the weight of her and all 6 axles being driven, she pulls anything you want to throw at her. So there they are, that's the underneath excuse me, and the drive on the axles of both locomotives. So then guys, to round everything off, I'm obviously going to sell my Lima one here, which is in perfect condition. The motor's perfect, she performs admirably and perfectly, and of course she's been serviced by me, so there's no point in keeping both of them anymore. But now I've done this video, I can afford to let this one go. My plans are obviously to put her on eBay, but if you're interested and you want to take it off my hands, then you can always contact me direct through YouTube with a PM message. If you don't want PM means, it means personal message. Make me an offer, and I'll leave it for a couple of weeks or so and see if I get an offer from you that's acceptable, and if not, I'll just stick her on eBay. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. So from me, it's good night, God bless, take care, everything as always, and I won't be long before the next video, so you take care of yourselves. Bye.